afternoon yet. Whatever time it is where you are, welcome. Well, today I feel for some curry goat. Now, Wayne Marshall had a thing on his channel, Meet the Mitchells, and I want to know from you as well. Curry goat, does it go best with plain rice or with rice and peas? I wish I could wait for the vote and then do the one that you suggest. But still, tell us in the comments whether you prefer curry goat with plain rice or with rice and peas. For those who are unfamiliar with goat, it's an animal similar to sheep, but nicer. Yeah, the flavor is much nicer. And in Jamaica, it's often served as a curry at formal events like weddings and parties, and sometimes for the bereaved after the funeral service and so on. And some people prefer, like if they prefer to have fried chicken as their meal, they also want curry gravy. If you only had one choice, fried chicken or curry goat, they say they want fried chicken but with curry gravy because it's nice. Alright, I've got everything set up and I'll show you now what I have. Here is the goat meat that's already been cleaned up, and I love that it has bones in. And here I have an assortment of dried spices. I've got chili powder, cayenne pepper, curry powder, all-purpose seasoning, pimento, mixed herbs, all sorts, garlic, and you can add whatever is your favorite. Just add them in. The salt is already in there, so I don't need to add any salt. I'm going to be marinating this with my hands, but I'll also show you what else I have to be added later on. Once this is marinated, I'm going to start the frying down and put the lid on. In its own juices, it will create some more juice, and afterwards I'll add hot water and these and just leave it for a long stew. So here goes. Clean hands in and get the spices into all the meat. Now some people say that it has to be marinated for hours and hours. It doesn't. I've got proof. If you haven't got enough time and you want to cook it right away, especially if you leave it for a long stew, it does it. It still cooks it with all the flavor. And I can't tell you either how long it will take. How long it takes depends on how tough the meat is. So a younger goat would take less time to cook than one that's older. So you determine, but there the pieces are marinated and I'm going to start the cooking right away. So in a saucepan, I'll put a little bit of oil, put the meat in and just put the lid on. It will start cooking and producing the juices itself. So here's my saucepan. And in it, I'm putting just a little bit of oil. It doesn't need a lot at all. It's not going to be fried. It's basically going to be cooked in its own juice, but you just need something to grease the bottom of the pan. So not a lot of oil at all. And then that is going in. I'm going to put the lid on that and allow it to cook in its juices. And then this, so that I don't waste the remnants of the seasoning that's in it, I'm going to be cutting up all the veggies in this one. So I'm going to prepare my veggies while that's creating its own juices. Onion, just rough chop. By the way, all these veggies, because it's a stewing process, really just need some rough chops. It's all going to be stewed down in the pan. A little bit of ginger as well. I can either grate this or just some rough chops. Well, finer chops, because nobody wants to be chewing on some big pieces of ginger. Celery adds a really lovely flavor to most meat stews. So if you give it some rough chops as well and add it, then it will all be cooked down in the juice, and all these, by the way, help to produce a really rich gravy. I'm going to add all this thyme, a piece of a scotch bonnet pepper, and then these as well. They're this big now, but once the stewing is complete, they'll be much smaller and add to the richness of the gravy. I did add some curry powder to the seasoning mix. But if you prefer, you could also add some of the curry powder to the pan, to the hot pan. Well, I add some more, so check the color. And if you need a deeper color, you could add more curry powder or turmeric to give that rich yellow color. So I boiled the kettle and I'm about to add some hot water to the pan. So the water needs to be added in stages and the flame turned down as well, so it's a slow stew to about medium. One next top up of water, and you just keep going like that. Don't put too much in, because you want it to be a slow stew. Stew has been on for about half an hour. I'm going to add some water to it, but before I add the water, I'm going to top it up. Well, I'm going to add the veggies that I had prepared earlier on. Let me show you. There, all the water, almost all of it has gone. I have checked the meat and it's soft, it's not tough at all. So like I said earlier, it depends on the maybe age and size of the animal. So in goes all those veggies that I had cut up. I'm going to add some hot water to this, and then that goes back in the pot. Stir. That's left to simmer again. Perhaps I'll leave it for another half an hour, but we'll check and see. So the dish, curry goat, nice rich gravy, all done. I've added a potato cut into cubes as well. So there you go. What do you think? And we've decided it's best, well, I've decided it's best with plain rice, and that's what we're going to have it with.